Good morning, everyone, here at Signs for Life. That's what we are. We are Signs for Life. And this week our theme is Be Radiant. Be radiant in the world with your unique identity. I am Pastor Nicole Martin, and I come to you today from Dayton, Ohio, where I'm out doing some fascinating learning about biblical storytelling. So I'm excited to be able to have this new opportunity to engage scripture. But to our theme for the week, Be Radiant. Yesterday I was engaged in a book that I am currently investigating called Living Our Language, Ojibwe Tales and Oral Histories. I do have a relationship with the Northern Plains Oyate in my area of Williston, and so I always go on quest to learn more. And I'm fascinated by storytelling, right? And I was reading this story by a gentleman by the name of Jim Clark from the Ojibwe tribe in Minnesota. And he makes this comment. He says, "So that's how the Indian is losing his language, by becoming ashamed of being Indian." Now, I know in Native American culture, as the oppressed person, as any government or organization wants to try to eradicate a people, one of the easiest ways to do that is to forbid the use of language, right? Forbid the use of this thing that is unique to them, their way they speak. But in terms of metaphor, language is also your cultural identity. Not just how you speak, but what you eat and your religion, right? And I am reminded of, in the Old Testament, the story of the Tower of Babel. One of my professors, Eric Barreto, he opened my eyes to the awareness that we missed the point. We think of God shoving us out into the world to speak different languages as a punishment. But if you would read before the story of the Tower of Babel, after Shem, Ham, and Japheth, right? After Noah's family go out and increase, each one of the descendants of Shem, Ham, and Japheth actually become their own community, their own culture, with their own languages. So there's all this variety of beautiful people happening. And then in the Tower of Babel, what has happened is they have forgotten their unique identity to be one group. Forgetting the unique identity as people who spoke different languages and had different ways of being to be one group. This idea of conformity. Yes, we do need some conformity for safety, right? To be able to communicate in times of emergency, that kind of thing. But language is critical to our self-identity. A lesson that I have rooted and learned deeply from my Native American friends, and I thank them for that. But I think it's also true in this space where we are trying to remember what it means to be radiant, to be a sign of life in the world, or a sign for life in the world. To be radiant means to be willing to speak and able to speak your own unique language that makes you, you. What is your language? What is your body language? How do you move through the world? How do you smile in the world? How do you use the language that is you to communicate to the world? That's what I offer you today, because you have this special place of being radiant, this own language of radiance that only you can provide. When you walk onto a plane or in a crowd and you smile, what does your radiance say to other people? How do you speak the language of radiance that is so unique to you that if you don't speak it as yourself, you actually get lost, right? So, I invite you today to live boldly your language of radiance so that you don't get lost, so that you stay true to your character, true to your value, true to the way you were made and created to be beautiful in the world. Blessings to you all on this day, and may the love and mercy and forgiveness of a creative God be upon you, in front of your footsteps, guiding each of your paths to live as this radiant being in the world. Blessings to you all. Ciao.